Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking the best free cards in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM here on this tier list. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 15,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, and I would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. With that being said, without further ado, let's hop right into it. So I will say the free card depth in this game right now is not great. There are a good amount of top-end free cards that are available, but outside of the top-tier guys, don't feel like there are a ton of mid-tier good free cards available. We will be getting another Gauntlet player this week on Thursday, who will be another great free card for those of y'all who are good enough to get the Gauntlet card, which hopefully will be a lot of people. Hopefully y'all have success and are able to get whoever that card is, and I'm sure that'll be a great card. But for right now, we got about 30 of the best free cards in my team. We're going to start off with Alonzo Mourning, who I think is like B or C. I'm probably going to have more cards on this list lower down in the tiers than I generally do. But with that being said, I do think Alonzo Mourning, he's a decent inside center with like mid-70s speed, which is pretty good, and he can hit a wide open three. Release is pretty bad, so I'm not going to sit here and say that shooting with him is a good idea or anything, but I think B tier is probably fair. He can hit wide open, and he defends pretty well, plays well in the interior on both ends of the court with pretty decent speed. Bob Love, I'm sorry, I'm moving. I think this is fair. Bob Love probably goes B as well. I like his release. It's smooth enough and easy to green. He's an awesome defender. By far, that's the best thing he does. He's just super versatile defender at the power forward position. Really nice card, though, and I actually think Bob Love's pretty good. Brandon Roy is still S tier for sure. He's a top 3 player at his position in the entire game. He's super versatile, good card. Can shot create, shoot, and do everything on the court at a very high level, to be completely honest. And he's an elite level slasher. And once you upgrade his badges, he's going to be a great playmaker, great defender, all that type of stuff as well. Bruce Bowen, B tier, great 3 and D. Doesn't do a ton else on the court, but that is okay. He doesn't really need to, which honestly is a net positive in my opinion. He's going to shoot the ball at a high level with a very smooth release, and then defensively, he's going to be an absolute demon. That's enough for me. Chris Bosh is going to go in the S tier for me. I actually do really like this Chris Bosh card. I think his release has become, it's grown on me for sure. It wasn't something that I loved at first. It's not as good as it was last year, but it still gets the job done for sure. And defensively, he's very good. He's got very good speed as a big, can play power forward or center at a high level. Really nice card. Chris Morris, I think, will crack the A tier. Yeah, he's a 6'8" shooting guard with a really good release. Great animations all the way around. Curry slide as well. Big, great release and pretty good movement. But unfortunately, the stats and badges don't quite back that up, which is why he's not an S tier guy, but I still think he's a really solid, pretty viable card. Christian Laettner is a pick and pop center who actually isn't the worst defender in the world either. I actually kind of like him as the Ascension Award for this season. There are definitely worse cards than Cliff Robinson. That I will say for sure. He's a pretty darn solid option. We got 30 guys on this list, which means we're going to have 6 S tiers, and I'm looking at my list right now, and I'm trying to decide if he is an S tier, and I do not believe that Cliff Robinson is an S tier, because I wouldn't take him over Bosch, and I think there's enough guys left in the list that he's not S tier. But high A tier for Cliff Robinson. He is an absolute beast, super versatile power forward or center option with good speed, defense, shooting, athletic ability, good size, everything that you could pretty much ask for, you could get on that card. Another A tier guy, honestly, well, I'll probably put Clyde in B. I'm going to move a couple guys down. We got to make some changes. We're getting a little bit too high up on this list, but I think Clyde goes B. Really great slasher is what he does best, is 100% that slashing. That is what he's going to give you the best at, but he's also going to be a decent defender. He's got good size, 6'7", and his release is smooth and easy to green. So I don't hate this Clyde Drexler card at all. De'Aaron Fox is an undersized point guard who doesn't, well, he's 6'3", but he's got kind of a small player build. Doesn't really defend. He can slash okay, and he's got a fast release, but he's not a great card. I don't know. I think C is probably fair. Dominique goes A tier. 6'8" with the Curry slide and a capable release, really good slasher. He's better Clyde Drexler. I think A tier is fair for him. Draymond and Bob Love deserve to be on the same tier, which means Draymond is also going B tier. I don't think he's an A tier card. I think Bob Love honestly has a better release than Draymond, or at least as good, and is pretty close to Draymond defensively as well. They're very similar cards actually at the power forward position. So to me, at least, I think it's not that hard to say that this Bob Love and this Draymond are pretty close to the same caliber of card, to be completely honest. At least that's my opinion. D Wade is going to go S tier still. He's still a top 5 point guard in the game, in my opinion, or at least really close to the top 5 if he's not actually top 5. And I think he's definitely one of the better cards that you can use at the point guard position because of the versatility that gives you defensively and as a slasher. And I mean, I know he's only listed at 6'4", but he does defend really well and play very big for a point guard, which is something that I personally am a big fan of. Obviously, of course, you want somebody who's going to be a really versatile card, and I think you can definitely get that with this D-Wade at point guard. Jerome Kersey, not very good. Not a great shooter. He's pretty darn athletic, but he is not a card that excites me at all. He's the 40 token reward for Season 2, and just like Tom Gugliotta, who's not even on this list in Season 1, very, very mediocre as a whole. I mean, he's a really nice catch and shoot, pick and pop big. He's got a very smooth, easy release, and he is a true 7-footer. So you could make the argument that E is a pretty viable option. I think B tier is probably fair for him. I think Kevin Love, because of his speed, probably has to go C tier, and he's also only 6'8" at power forward. So even though he's actually a really, I mean, obviously he's a great shooter. His release is always good every single year, and this year is certainly no different. Kevin Love is still a great card in a lot of ways, or at least as a shooter, but I don't think in terms of overall versatility and everything that he can hopefully do, he's that great of a card. So for me personally, at least, Kevin Love, good, but not good enough to really be very high up on this list. I think McHale, defensively, he's a good inside because he's not horribly slow, and he does have like legitimately good speed and things of that nature, but he just can't shoot the 3 at all, which is kind of pretty important, honestly. I would say it hurts him a bit. It makes him a bit of a liability, actually, the fact that he can't shoot the 3. But, I mean, it is what it is, and he's still a pretty good card. He's just not a great one or anything. But overall, I do think, I mean, I don't know. Probably not D because he's a good inside. So I will give him the benefit of the doubt and put him in C. Kyrie, high A to F. I think I'll go S still. As much as I don't love Kyrie's lack of defense, the playmaking and his dribble style. I mean, his dribble style is the best in the game, and he's an absolutely incredible playmaker. He is still a phenomenal top-tier card, even though the fact that he can't defend very well does frustrate me. I think Magic is not very good. He is like an 80 speed center who can kind of shoot the ball, but he doesn't defend at all. I don't think Magic's that great of a playmaker this year. I don't know if that's just me, but I'm not that impressed by him as a playmaker. Like, as a whole, Magic is fine, but he's not very good. I don't know. Mike Conley's actually pretty good. Release is good on him. He's like a pretty solid card. I actually think Mike Conley's like, he's 3-hunts really, really well. His dribble style is pretty good. His movement seems very solid. He seems like a really, really versatile, viable card as like a super cheap budget type point guard. Pau Gasol, I mean, we have so many mid cards. I'm going to move some of these guys down because I got to have some lower tier guys. I think Kersey can get moved down as well. Pau Gasol is probably B. Is he B? He's slow. I mean, he's got, what, mid-60 speed. He can hit a wide open 3. He's not a great defender. He's probably B, but he's not a great card by any means. So I'm not going to sit here and hype up Pau Gasol at this point. He was good for his time, but at this point we've gotten enough good bigs that he's not a great card. Phil Jackson, 6'8" and defensive, but can't shoot the ball very well, and his release isn't very good. He's also pretty small at the power forward position. So again, not a great card. Raymond Felton's a 6'1" PG. He's fine. I guess he can dunk the ball okay. Honestly, he's probably B if Conley's B. They're pretty similar cards. Raymond Felton can dunk, and he can shoot pretty well, so he's got some viability there for sure. SGA, easy S tier here, and I'm realizing that I do need to actually move Kyrie down because I don't have 6 spots in S tier. Because SGA is the best point guard in the game and one of the best couple cards in the game. No doubt about that at all. SGA is an absolute monster of a card. He's always good every year. And he was an amazing card last year, and right now he's the best point guard in the game by a pretty significant margin. Honestly, Sean Livingston has to go S tier too, in my opinion. He is just such a solid all-around card. 6'7". I understand he's only got a 55 3 ball, but his release is so smooth and easy that I do feel confident shooting the ball with him, which is something that I really can't say with anybody else with that low of a 3 ball. Sean Bradley, obviously the size and the mid-range and all that stuff, and the defense is something that is really valuable out of Sean Livingston as well, of course. Sean Bradley, I will probably put C because he's 7'5". Do I think he's a good card? Not at all. He can't shoot. He's super duper slow. He's a terrible perimeter defender, but he's 7'5", which gives him enough size and versatility that I think you could like semi-use him if you wanted to. Steve Smith is right up there with Kyrie and Cliff Robinson as like absolutely elite cards in the A tier. Another really, really good. He's a 3-and-D shooting guard and a very, very good one at that. Super versatile card at the shooting guard position. He's a really good, like I said, really, really good 3-and-D card, though. Great release, as well as 6'8" at the shooting guard position. That type of size is also very useful and certainly shouldn't be overlooked. Victor Oladipo is a 6'4", great defensive point guard. He's another really, really good card who is a little bit overlooked now with all the new point guards that people are using, but he's 6'4", defense is bought off, super smooth release. Not like the best point guard in the game by any means or anything like that, but a very, very good one as well. Wilt is S tier. I mean, obviously Wilt is S tier. Who is? Oh, that's Jose Calderon. I just realized I put Jose Calderon instead of, and called him E. Wow, that's a mistake. Jose Calderon, I'm going to move him down to C. I'm sorry. That's the salary cap reward. But Wilt is S tier. He's one of the best inside bigs in the game, one of the best centers in the game, period. Some people would make the argument that Wilt is the best center in the game. Now, I'm not one of those people, but he is certainly still a very good card. That is something I will 100% agree with. I mean, incredible, versatile defender, 8-foot wingspan, super, super big as well with his animations. Just a really, really good, viable card at the center position. Defends his butt off. I just wish he could shoot the three a little bit, but that's the same complaint with Shaq and with some other cards. It's just, that's the way the game is right now, unfortunately, with some of those bigs. And then finally, we have E. E is, like I said, B tier. I already did my spiel on E because I thought for whatever reason Jose Calderon was E because I couldn't see the full card art, which is my fault. But like I said, 7-foot stretch big, really solid card, good release, very good release. That type of size, that type of shooting ability at a good release is generally enough to give you a decent amount of value, even if you're not the greatest defender in the world, which is exactly how I would describe E, actually. So with that being said, I'm looking at this list. I'll move Kevin Love down because he's slow and 6'8". I feel like I got to move a couple cards down. Phil Jackson's bad release, but he can defend. McHale's and a really actually viable inside. De'Aaron Fox probably should be up a tier, but do I really think he's better than Mike Conley or Raymond Felton? No. I think I'm going to leave it like this. Not a lot of D tiers, but I think this is a pretty fair list, to be completely honest. So I hope y'all did enjoy the video. Let me know what y'all think of my list in the comment section down below. If there's anything you change, feel free to let me know. And I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.